a state of mind as still as a lake at dawn, reflecting the entire universe without distortion or judgment. A consciousness so clear that truth reveals itself, not through knowledge acquired, but through direct experience of being. Yet for most of us, the mind resembles not this tranquil lake, but a turbulent ocean, constantly churning with thoughts of the past, anxieties about the future, endless judgments, and ceaseless desires. In this storm of mental activity, reality becomes distorted, truth obscured. For centuries, seekers across cultures have pursued one fundamental question: how do we still the waters of the mind? How do we experience reality directly, without the constant interference of our thoughts? Enter the world of Zen Buddhism, a tradition that offers not explanations, but experiences. Not theories, but direct insight. Not complexity, but radical simplicity. Zen presents us with a paradox. The answers we seek through knowledge and thinking cannot be found through more knowledge and thinking. Truth lies beyond the reach of concepts and words. It must be directly experienced. Like a finger pointing to the moon, words are merely guides. To focus only on the finger and miss the moon is to miss the essential truth. This saying encapsulates Zen's greatest challenge to our normal way of understanding. Reality cannot be captured in books or legends. But if not through study, how does Zen propose we reach understanding? Through a deceptively simple practice, sitting in silent awareness. By directly facing our own mind, observing its movements without judgment or interference, we begin to see beyond the illusion of separation between observer and observed. This path of direct experience seems almost too simple to our intellectual minds. We've been conditioned to believe that profound truths must be complex, that enlightenment requires years of study, elaborate rituals, or supernatural abilities. The greatest obstacle to discovery is not ignorance, it is the illusion of knowledge. When we believe we already know, we close ourselves to the possibility of direct discovery. Our very quest for understanding becomes the barrier to understanding itself. So begins our paradoxical journey. We must unlearn to learn, empty our cups to fill them anew, quiet our thoughts to hear the deeper wisdom beyond thinking. This is the invitation of Zen, not to accumulate more, but to discover what remains when we let go of everything we think we know. Imagine for a moment that awakening is not something distant, but something immediately available, as close as your next breath, as intimate as the feeling of your hands resting in your lap, as immediate as the sound of wind in the trees outside your window. This is the radical proposition of Zen Buddhism, that truth and awakening are not found in exotic temples or ancient scrolls, but in the immediate, direct experience of this very moment, exactly as it is, without addition or subtraction. The mind that grasps for truth is like hands trying to hold water. The tighter it squeezes, the more truth slips away. Only the open palm, neither grasping nor rejecting, can reflect water's true nature. This open awareness is the foundation of Zen practice. So what is this mysterious tradition that speaks in riddles and silence? What wisdom does Zen offer to our modern world of endless information, but diminishing wisdom? What ancient truths might quiet our restless minds and reveal the nature of reality? Join us on a journey into the heart of Zen Buddhism, where paradox leads to clarity, where silence speaks volumes, and where the extraordinary hides within the utterly ordinary. This is not a path of belief, but of direct experience, an invitation to discover the profound stillness that has been with you all along. The history of Zen begins not with complexity, but with a moment of profound simplicity. Beneath the Bodhi tree in northern India, a man named Siddhartha Gautama sat in unwavering meditation, vowing not to rise until he pierced the veil of illusion. In that perfect stillness, beyond thought and concept, Siddhartha experienced direct awakening. The Buddha, the awakened one, had discovered a path beyond suffering through direct insight into the nature of mind and reality. His revelation was radical. Suffering stems from our clinging to illusions, while freedom arises from seeing clearly. For centuries, the Buddha's teachings traveled along the Silk Road, adapting to new cultures and contexts. But it was in China, around the 6th century, that these teachings would encounter a profound shift, a direct transmission beyond words and concepts that would eventually become Zen. The catalyst for this transformation was an enigmatic Indian monk named Bodhidharma. His piercing gaze and unconventional teachings would forever change the course of Buddhism in East Asia. Where others emphasized scriptures and rituals, Bodhidharma proposed something radical, direct, pointing to the mind as the path to awakening. According to legend, upon arriving in China, Bodhidharma retreated to the Shaolin Temple and sat in meditation, facing a wall for 9 years. This profound act of unwavering focus symbolizes the essence of Zen, turning attention inward to directly perceive mind's true nature. A famous encounter illustrates Bodhidharma's direct approach. When Emperor Wu of China proudly listed all the temples he had built and scriptures he had copied, asking what merit he had earned, Bodhidharma replied simply, "No merit whatsoever." True awakening, he taught, cannot be accumulated like spiritual currency. It is the realization of what is already present. From Bodhidharma's revolutionary approach sprang the Chan tradition in China, later called Zen in Japan. Unlike other Buddhist schools that organize teachings into elaborate systems, Chan emphasized direct transmission beyond words and letters, from master to disciple, a lineage of awakened minds recognizing each other. By the 12th century, Chan Buddhism had matured in China and began traveling eastward to Japan. There it would be called Zen and develop its most refined expressions. Japanese culture, with its appreciation for simplicity, impermanence, and nature, proved to be the perfect vessel for Zen's profound insights. Among those who brought Zen to Japan, one figure stands out for his profound impact. A young monk named Dogen Zenji. Born in 1200 to an aristocratic family, Dogen lost his parents early in life, an experience that awakened in him a burning question about impermanence and the nature of reality. Despite his dedication to Buddhist practice in Japanese monasteries, a fundamental question tormented Dogen. If all beings already possess Buddha nature, why is practice necessary? Finding no satisfactory answer in Japan, he undertook the dangerous journey to China in search of deeper insight. In China, Dogen encountered Master Rujing, whose simple yet profound approach to practice transformed him completely. Under Rujing's guidance, Dogen experienced a breakthrough that resolved his burning question. He realized that practice and enlightenment are not two separate things. Practice enlightenment is a unified reality. The revelation that transformed Dogen was both simple and profound. The very act of sitting in meditation, Zazen, is itself the complete expression of Buddha nature. Not a means to enlightenment, but enlightenment itself, manifested in dedicated practice. This insight turned traditional understanding on its head. We don't practice to become Buddhas. Practice itself is how Buddha nature expresses itself. Returning to Japan, Dogen established a Heiji monastery deep in the mountains, creating a place where his insight could be fully embodied. There, he taught that every activity, cooking, cleaning, bathing, is an opportunity for awakening when done with complete presence. All of life became the field of practice. During his years at Eiheiji, Dogen composed his masterpiece, the Shobogenzo, or Treasury of the True Dharma Eye. This profound collection of essays challenges conventional understanding, using language to point beyond language, employing paradox to break through dualistic thinking. Through Dogen and other masters, Zen became woven into the very fabric of Japanese culture, influencing everything from architecture and garden design to the tea ceremony, martial arts, and aesthetic principles like wabi-sabi, the beauty of imperfection and impermanence. Zen wasn't just a religion, it became a lens through which to view all of existence. Like a finger pointing to the moon, all spiritual teachings are merely guides, not the truth itself. This famous Zen saying encapsulates the heart of Zen philosophy. Words and concepts are tools that point toward reality, but they must not be confused with direct experience. The menu is not the meal. Zen philosophy stands apart from other traditions in its radical approach to understanding. Rather than building complex systems of thought, it seeks to cut through conceptual thinking entirely. The goal is not better concepts, but direct insight beyond the realm of concepts, seeing reality as it is, before we divide it with our thinking. At the heart of Zen is the transcendence of duality, the artificial divisions we create between subject and object, self and other, mind and body, sacred and ordinary. These divisions, while useful for everyday functioning, ultimately obscure the unified nature of reality. Zen practice aims to dissolve these boundaries, revealing the interpenetration of all phenomena. Zen's approach to breaking through conceptual thinking often employs koans, paradoxical questions or statements that cannot be resolved through logical reasoning. What is the sound of one hand clapping? What was your face before your parents were born? These puzzling questions are not meant to be answered intellectually, but to exhaust the rational mind and open the door to direct insight. Another key aspect of Zen philosophy is finding the extraordinary within the ordinary. Before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. This famous saying illustrates that awakening doesn't transport us to another realm. It transforms our relationship with the everyday. The most mundane activities contain the entirety of reality when approached with complete presence. Zen challenges our fundamental approach to seeking truth. We naturally look outward to teachers, texts, or distant places, expecting to find what we seek elsewhere. Zen points in the opposite direction, suggesting that what we're looking for is already present, covered only by our habitual ways of seeing. As the Zen saying goes, the treasure you seek is in the cave you fear to enter. Central to Zen practice is cultivating beginner's mind, a mind free from preconceptions, expectations, and accumulated expertise. Shunryu Suzuki explains, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few." This open, not knowing quality allows us to see reality freshly, without the filters of past knowledge or future expectations. Zen's approach to awakening is often described as direct pointing to the human mind. While other traditions might prescribe elaborate stages of practice spanning lifetimes, Zen suggests the possibility of immediate awakening, not through accumulation, but through directly seeing what already is. This doesn't mean Zen practice is easy, but that its difficulty lies not in complexity, but in profound simplicity. In the 20th century, scholars like D.T. Suzuki helped introduce Zen to Western audiences, finding surprising resonance with emerging philosophical movements like existentialism and phenomenology. Unlike many religious traditions that seemed at odds with modern thought, Zen's emphasis on direct experience and skepticism toward fixed dogma made it uniquely compatible with contemporary inquiry. One of Zen's most challenging insights is that of no self, anatta, the recognition that what we call self is not a fixed entity, but a dynamic process intimately connected with everything else. Our sense of being separate individuals is a useful convention, but not an ultimate truth. This doesn't mean we don't exist, but that we exist in interdependence with everything else. What Thich Nhat Hanh calls interbeing. Equally profound is Zen's teaching on emptiness, sunyata, not nihilistic nothingness, but the recognition that all things lack independent, fixed existence. Everything arises dependently, in relationship with everything else. Like waves on the ocean, phenomena appear distinct, but are never separate from the whole. This emptiness is not a void, but the very condition that allows for the rich manifestation of all forms. Zen's philosophical insights aren't abstract theories, but lived practices. In a Zen garden, carefully raked sand might represent the ocean, while rocks become mountains, not as mere symbols, but as direct manifestations of these realities. This exemplifies Zen's non-dualistic understanding. The small contains the large. The moment contains eternity. Form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. The Heart Sutra, important in Zen tradition, contains the famous phrase, "Form is emptiness, emptiness is form." This paradoxical statement points to ultimate reality beyond intellectual understanding. Form doesn't disappear into emptiness. Rather, the very impermanence and interconnectedness of forms is what we call emptiness. This profound insight frees us from attachment to fixed identities and opens us to the dynamic flow of existence. The Zen Circle, or Enso, embodies the philosophy of Zen in a single brushstroke, complete yet imperfect, empty yet full, simple yet containing infinite complexity. The Enso is drawn in one fluid movement, requiring both technical mastery and the ability to act spontaneously from a state of presence. It represents the moment when preparation meets letting go, when discipline enables freedom. Perhaps most central to Zen philosophy is its radical emphasis on the present moment, not as a concept or spiritual platitude, but as the only reality that ever exists. Past and future are mental constructions, useful, but not where life actually happens. This insight is not merely philosophical, it's intensely practical. When we fully enter the present, our suffering, which dwells primarily in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future, naturally dissolves. Time is a continuum without beginning or end. Practicing the way means being completely present in the moment we are in. This very instant is eternity itself, and when we fully surrender to it, there is no separation between time and ourselves. These words from Dogen Zenji point to one of Zen's most transformative insights. For most of us, our attention rarely resides in the present. The mind habitually dwells in the past, replaying memories, nursing regrets, analyzing what went wrong, or projects into the future, planning, worrying, fantasizing about what might be. Meanwhile, life itself only ever happens in this moment. For most of us, our attention rarely resides in the present. The mind habitually dwells in the past, replaying memories, nursing regrets, analyzing what went wrong, or projects into the future, planning, worrying, fantasizing about what might be. Meanwhile, life itself only ever happens in this moment. This insight isn't merely philosophical. It directly addresses the root of human suffering. When we mentally exist primarily in the past or future, we experience anxiety, regret, and dissatisfaction. The present moment is the only doorway out of this self-created prison. As Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh teaches, the present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. How do we access this present moment? Zen offers a direct method by bringing attention to our immediate experience, particularly the sensation of breathing. The breath is always happening now, making it an anchor to presence. When attention wanders to past or future, we gently return to the physical sensation of breathing, not forcing concentration, but cultivating awareness. The practice extends beyond formal meditation into everyday activities. When washing dishes, just wash dishes. Feel the water. Notice the soap bubbles. Be fully present with the task. When walking, just walk. Feel each step, the air on your skin, the movement of your body. This quality transforms ordinary moments into direct encounters with reality. In our modern world, present moment awareness faces unprecedented challenges. Digital technologies fragment our attention into smaller pieces, creating what some call continuous partial attention. We're physically in one place, while mentally scattered across many others. This divided attention not only prevents deep presence, but actually rewires our brains to resist it. Fortunately, neuroscience confirms what Zen practitioners have known for centuries. Our brains are remarkably plastic, constantly shaped by how we use our attention. Through consistent practice, we can cultivate what neuroscientists call focused attention and open monitoring, precisely the qualities that Zen meditation develops. The benefits of present moment awareness extend far beyond spiritual insights. Research has linked mindfulness practices to reduced stress, anxiety, and depression, improved immune function, enhanced brain health, and greater overall well-being. What Zen offers as a path to spiritual awakening simultaneously addresses our very practical human needs. What makes the Zen approach to presence distinctive is that it's not just a technique for stress reduction or improved concentration. The entire practice is grounded in a profound understanding. The present moment is not merely a strategy for better living. It is the doorway to ultimate reality. When we are fully present, the separation between self and other, inside and outside, begins to dissolve. If you want to know the taste of the ocean, you can taste one drop. This Zen saying points to how the present moment, fully experienced, contains everything. In a single breath, experienced completely, we can discover the nature of all existence, not as an intellectual concept, but as direct knowing. The boundaries between the infinite and the infinitesimal dissolve in the immediacy of now. A famous Zen story tells of Buddha holding up a flower before an assembly of followers. While most were confused, seeking deeper meaning, the disciple Mahakashapa simply smiled, directly perceiving the flower's reality. Buddha acknowledged this wordless understanding as the true transmission of wisdom. This flower sermon illustrates how direct experience in the present transcends conceptual understanding. The Japanese tea ceremony, Chano-yu, embodies the Zen approach to the present moment. Each movement is performed with complete attention, not rushing to the next, not dwelling on the last. The entire universe is contained in the simple act of preparing and drinking tea. This is not a metaphor or poetic exaggeration. It is the direct experience of someone fully present with what is. The mind is like a lake. When it is stirred, the moon's reflection is broken into countless pieces. When the water is still, the moon is perfectly reflected. This Zen metaphor illustrates how our agitated thoughts distort reality. In the quiet mind of present moment awareness, things are seen clearly as they are. The lake doesn't create the moon, it simply reflects what is already there. The path to present moment awareness takes many forms. Some are drawn to formal meditation practices, Zazen, Kinhin, walking meditation, or koan study. Others find their way through mindful engagement with arts like calligraphy, archery, or the tea ceremony. What matters is not the form, but the quality of presence brought to each moment. A direct, unmediated experiencing of reality as it unfolds. Having explored Zen's history and philosophy, we now arrive at its beating heart, Zazen. Often translated simply as seated meditation, Zazen is the central practice of Zen Buddhism. Not merely a technique, but the direct embodiment of awakening itself. As Dogen wrote, Zazen is not a meditation technique. It is the Dharma gate of great ease and joy. What makes Zazen distinctive among meditation practices is its radical simplicity. It is not primarily about achieving special states of consciousness, gaining psychic powers, or having mystical experiences. Zazen is just sitting, completely present, completely yourself. In this seemingly ordinary act lies extraordinary depth. The foundation of Zazen begins with posture, not as a rigid rule, but as an expression of awakened presence. Sit on a firm cushion, allowing your knees to rest on the ground, forming a stable tripod with your buttocks. The spine rises naturally upward, neither rigid nor slouched, a physical expression of the middle way. Imagine a string gently pulling the crown of your head toward the sky. The hands rest in your lap, palms up, left hand on right, thumbs lightly touching to form an oval, the cosmic mudra. This hand position creates a circuit of energy while offering a subtle point of focus. The shoulders relax, drawing slightly back and down. The chin tucks slightly, lengthening the back of the neck. The tongue rests lightly against the roof of the mouth. The eyes remain slightly open, with a soft gaze resting on the floor about 3 feet ahead, neither focusing intently nor completely closing. This prevents both drowsiness and visual distraction, while symbolizing the openness to reality that characterizes Zen. Unlike some traditions that emphasize closing the eyes to turn inward, Zen maintains a gentle connection with the external world. The breath becomes our anchor to the present moment, not controlled or manipulated, but observed with gentle attention. Unlike some yogic practices that employ complex breathing techniques, Zazen simply returns awareness to the natural rhythm of breathing. Feel the sensation of air at the nostrils, the rising and falling of the abdomen. When the mind wanders, gently bring it back to the breath, not as concentration, but as coming home to presence. And what of the mind itself? Here lies perhaps the most subtle aspect of Zazen practice. We neither suppress thoughts nor follow them. We neither concentrate on one object to the exclusion of all else, nor allow the mind to wander aimlessly. Instead, we cultivate a spacious awareness that neither grasps nor rejects whatever arises. Thoughts come and go like clouds in the sky, while awareness remains like the sky itself, boundless and unchanged. Newcomers to Zazen quickly encounter common challenges. The body experiences discomfort or pain. The mind cycles between agitation and dullness. We may find ourselves drowning in thoughts or fighting drowsiness. These are not failures, but essential parts of the practice. The way we meet these difficulties with gentle persistence rather than harsh self-judgment is itself the path of awakening. Regular practice is essential. In traditional Zen monasteries, monks might sit multiple sessions daily. For lay people, even 20 minutes once or twice daily can transform consciousness over time. Many find that practicing with others, even occasionally at a local Zen center, provides invaluable support and deepens the experience. The collective field of awareness creates a container that helps sustain individual practice. What outcomes might we expect from dedicated Zazen practice? Paradoxically, seeking specific results can obstruct the very freedom Zazen offers. Unlike some approaches that promise particular experiences or powers, Zen emphasizes letting go of gaining mind altogether. The goal of Zazen is not some future state, but intimate relationship with this very moment. And yet, consistent practice naturally brings increased equanimity, clarity, compassion, and a profound shift in how we experience ourselves and reality. Perhaps most importantly, Zen practice extends far beyond formal sitting periods. The awareness cultivated in Zazen gradually permeates daily activities. Cooking becomes meditation. Walking becomes meditation. Conversation becomes meditation. The boundaries between practice and life begin to dissolve. As the 8th century Zen master Hyakujo said, enlightenment is not separate from washing dishes or planting fields. At its most refined, Zazen evolves into what Dogen called shikantaza, just sitting. Beyond techniques, beyond mindfulness of breath or body, beyond even the subtle effort to maintain awareness, we simply rest in the ground of being itself. Neither seeking special experiences nor avoiding difficulties, we express our original nature through the simple act of sitting upright in alert presence. In Dogen's words, when one displays the Buddha mudra with one's whole body and mind, sitting upright in this samadhi, all beings in the entire universe also sit. This brings us full circle to Dogen's profound insight that practice and enlightenment are not separate. We do not practice in order to become enlightened at some future date. The very act of wholehearted practice is itself the expression of Buddha nature. Every moment of genuine presence is already complete. As he wrote, if you cannot find the truth right where you are, where else do you expect to find it? Thus, we conclude our exploration into the heart of Zen Buddhism, a tradition that unites profound simplicity with rigorous practice, timeless wisdom with immediate experience. From its origins in India, through its development in China and flowering in Japan, Zen offers a direct path to awakening that remains as relevant today as it was centuries ago. The invitation of Zen is one of radical immediacy. The possibility of awakening is not distant in time or space, but available in this very moment. Every breath offers an opportunity to return to presence. Every activity contains the potential for complete awareness. The practice is available to anyone willing to sit down, be still, and face reality directly. If the teachings of Dogen Zenji and the Zen masters have resonated with you, remember that Zen's ultimate truth is not found in descriptions or explanations, but in direct experience. The finger pointing to the moon is not the moon itself. These words and images are merely invitations to discover through yourself the vast stillness that has been with you all along. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of Zen. May your path be one of joy, discovery, and increasing freedom. In the words of Shunryu Suzuki, the most important thing is to remember the most important thing. And what is that? Perhaps it is simply to be fully awake in this precious human life, one breath at a time.